So I have no idea what this clip is. I scanned through it and I saw a dude wearing this mind control shirt, which is like the Pornhub logo. There's like, yeah, mind control. So I guess that's like some kind of profound statement or something. And I saw this guy and I was trying to figure out for the longest time what the f this said. And then I figured out it said make America straight again. So I'm like, this guy's a dork. And then of course there's Tim. And the title of the video is Neuralink could be the mark of the beast. Fears revelation may be upon us. Like, this is a group of adult human beings talking about how the book of Revelations is upon us. Like, oh my God. Like, this is seriously what you guys are devoting content to. By the way, anybody who wears a shirt that says make America straight again is desperately in love with dick. Don't make Neuralink cool. I know, that's another thing, is like, there are actual reasons to be concerned about Neuralink, okay? Like, evoking the book of Revelations and the mark of the beast, not only is it not a valid criticism, but it undercuts actually valid fucking reasons to be concerned about this technology, okay? Now, I happen to think that whether it's Neuralink or it's something else, this is inevitably going to be part of the fucking of human evolution. The only thing that I'm scared of is I don't think the tech billionaires should be in control of it. I feel like we're at the point now where our technology is getting far too powerful for it to be in the hands of private interests. Like, we need to democratize technology ASAP. Because if you fucking start letting the billionaire class put chips in your heads, they're going to fucking own your thoughts. They're going to broadcast their advertisements into your dreams. And the human spirit is well and truly dead. Which is way scarier than anything described in the fucking stupid-ass book of goddamn Revelations, quote-unquote.
Even with this Neuralink thing, there might be a possibility where he gets shut down, and then Google and Alphabet and the Pentagon come in, and then they're like, we got the newer microchip. It's a lot better.
If Elon Musk has a chip he can put in your brain that lets you control screens and stuff, the Pentagon has had that shit for like 10, 15 years now. At least. So, like, the idea that the Pentagon doesn't already have that, the idea that Elon Musk is on the cutting edge of this, like, give me a break. Like, did you see his robot? It's like 10 years at least behind anything like Boston Dynamics is putting out. So that means, like, what kind of robots does the fucking military have? Like, the endless money sinkhole that is the military doesn't have some fucking robots that make the shit that Boston Dynamics has look like a fucking joke. Of course they do.
So there's an argument here that I've been going back and forth on, that I've been talking about for a very long time, is that Elon Musk has a lot of power and a lot of responsibility.
It's funny to hear you stupid fuckers admit that, but you're totally okay with him fucking it off and being like an irresponsible memeing dickbag. So it's like you recognize that, but you don't actually hold him to that standard. It's fucking remarkable.
Power and responsibility, we want to specifically know if he's going to be using that power and responsibility in a good way or in a bad way, because that's a lot of power for one individual to have.
Elon, you gonna be good or you gonna be bad? Let us know. You gonna use it for good or you gonna use it for bad?
Why don't we just take the power from him? Why don't we just diffuse the power and say, hey, maybe like we should listen to Kanye, you know? No one man should have all that power. Yeah, like take it away from his ass. He doesn't need that much power.
I just figured it out. I'm just gonna...
Okay, the reverse oracle is about to speak. Whatever he says is the opposite of the truth.
I'm gonna hate everyone because...
All right, so the answer, I guess, is to love everyone. I guess Jesus was right. So yeah, the reverse oracle has spoken. He said hate everyone, so we must love everyone.
Elon Musk, I mean, what if he's like the Pied Piper acting like you know, he's doing all this good for us?
Oh shit. Okay, I guess Elon Musk is to be trusted, you guys.
Free speech for you right here. And then basically there's a box that says free speech and there's a stick and everybody's running over to it and he's going to pull that stick and the box is going to...
Amazing visual metaphor, Tim. But I guess Elon Musk, just in, the reverse oracle has spoken. Elon Musk is trustworthy. Tim Pool says not to trust him, so now I do.
Come down, you know what I mean?
That is what's happening, in my opinion.
That is what's happening, in my opinion. Who the fuck is this dork? Guys, who is this? Someone tell me who this is, please. Does anyone know who the fuck this is? Bryson Gray. Oh, he's like a musician. Oh my God, this has no fucking listens. No one cares about this guy. I guess Tim does. Okay. I'm going to assume this is probably not all that copyrighted, so I'm just going to play some.
Demanding that you put a fist up, you were born white. $80 million, where that money at? We all tried to tell you when it's funny that Candace got receipts, now all of a sudden everybody mad. Kanye, I insulted you earlier. And, you know, now that I've had the benefit of comparison, I want to say sorry to Ye. You know, I dissed your track earlier, but now I see I see how much worse it could have been. The name of this song is The Greatest Lie Ever Sold. Well, Bryson, I hate to tell you, but the greatest lie that you were ever sold is the one that you have talent. Because you fucking don't, my friend. That sucks. The only thing you got going for you is apparently you're kind of like right wing. And that audience is willing to fucking accept a lower quality of shit because they don't have as much stuff as explicitly made for them. Because most artists are not going to side with right-wingers simply based on the fact that right-wing regimes have traditionally oppressed artists. Therefore, it doesn't really attract many artists. And when it does, it's usually either people who are well past their prime, like, you know, Ted Nugent or something, or it's people like you who don't really have much talent to speak of, but have just enough to, I guess, cobble a fucking halfway listenable song together and then sell it to right-wingers because there's lyrics about how Candace Owens is so smart and, you know, Trump is going to save America or whatever the fuck.
And I'm going to tell you why. I've been in this movement for a while.
And I don't know if I was unnecessarily mean to Bryson Gray. Because I really don't know. I really don't know if I was too mean to him or not. Because I don't know what he's going to say. Maybe he's going to actually be a pretty intelligent, reasonable dude. And I'm going to regret being, you know, saying mean stuff. And if that's the case, then when this comes out as a clip, we'll cut that part out. But I have a feeling we're not going to cut that part out.
2 years ago, conservatives would have never defended this chip at all. I remember I used to talk about it. Now,
wait a minute. Is this guy just now realizing that conservatives have no actual principles or values and they just say what they need to say in the moment to get ahead and win the fucking culture war? Maybe this guy is just dumb. Sometimes you'll run into conservatives who are not necessarily evil. They're just dumb. And they really haven't caught on yet to the fact that it's all a bunch of lies. So this could just be one of those guys.
now if you look, though, if you talk about the Elon Musk chip on Twitter, conservatives will defend it now.
Yeah, because they don't care about anything other than Elon Musk triggering the libs. Haven't you figured out yet that conservatives will defend anyone that triggers the libs? Elon Musk triggers the libs. Therefore, his nightmare brain scan chip that's surely going to fucking install like malware into your cerebellum and shit is you know, that's just like, now that's fine. That's going to go off without a hitch because he triggers the fucking libs. So they don't care anymore. Now the mark of the beast is cool because, hey, the mark of the beast triggers the fucking libs. So and now it's dope. Now it's dynamite. Now it's the greatest thing since sliced motherfucking bread.
It's like, we actually love it. And I don't think he can use it for good because he's a godless soul, right? And
oh man, I do not regret the horrible things I said about you. This is exactly the same thing Kanye West said, by the way, earlier. Kanye West said, anybody who don't believe in Jesus has no business influencing anything. And so now here's this guy saying like, no, Elon Musk can't do good because he's a godless soul. Well, I mean, if you're an actual Christian, you don't really believe in a godless soul. You believe that God resides in all human beings. And, you know, even by the Bible's own admission, great, you know, people who are not great believers can still accomplish great things. So I don't know. It's kind of weird and not even biblically supported to say that an atheist, which I think Elon Musk is, but I really don't even know.
He already told you why he's doing it. It's not for the greater good. He said, we can't win against AI, so we need to combine with AI. He told you this on the Joe Rogan interview, clear cut.
Well,
yeah, he's probably right, by the way. I mean, once again, siding with people that are on the opposite side of the aisle or whatever. I'm not. This guy's not right. Elon Musk is right on that. You know, we already are at a point where AI can write better than probably, I don't know, 50, 60, 70% of human beings can. AI can draw better than probably, I don't know, 90 to 95% of human beings at this point, maybe more than that. You know, AI is becoming fiercely competitive with human beings. And it is going to pass us up. And it is going to get better at literally everything we do. And then what are we? Are we to be a race of, I don't know, invalids being cared for by an AI nanny? Or do we need to upgrade our own brains? Are we going to need to merge with the machine and embrace transhumanism? I think inevitably, yes, we're going to have to. Either that or we're going to have to artificially limit the growth of technology. Either that or we're going to have to accept that any sort of like human greatness is now a thing of the past. And we must now just capitulate to our AI masters and recognize that they are now the dominant life form on the planet. Even if they serve us, they're greater than we could ever be. And I don't think that humanity can easily accept that. I don't think I could easily accept that. So I do think that we need to embrace transhumanism. I do think that something like the Neuralink technology should be embraced by humanity, but I don't think that it should be in the hands of the billionaire class.
So when it comes to this power, who would you rather have this latest technology? This is the question that I think maybe some Elon Musk fanboys are asking themselves. Do you want China to have that power? Do you want Alphabet to have that power? Or Google?
Psst. Hey, maybe humanity should have that power. Maybe it should belong to, I don't know, all the peoples of the earth. You're caught up in the cult of digitism, TJ. You are an analog mind. Yeah, but clearly I am a mind capable of being augmented. I mean, there's great plasticity to the human brain, and we're seeing more and more that there are ways that the human brain and this technology can successfully be interfaced. You know, we already have people who are able to control cybernetic limbs using their brain waves. So we already have technology that can actually look at people's dreams and construct some rudimentary depictions of what people are dreaming. So, I mean, like, this technology is very much emergent right now. And I don't think that, I don't think it's avoidable. I think even if you tried to suppress it, it's just inevitable. So the best you can hope for is to see it arise under conditions that are more favorable to freedom, autonomy, and humanity, rather than emerge under conditions of, you know, capitalistic hyper competition.
But the argument is they're building the technology anyway. It's going to be here anyway. Who's going to be navigating it is the kind of conversation that I think is being had here.
He has said, like, he's tried talking.
I love that it never even occurs to this guy as he's so close. He's so close, but it never occurs to him that maybe the power should be democratized. Maybe the power should belong to all human beings across the spectrum and not just to some elitist group. You know, he's still thinking in terms of like national identity and political identity and class identity and all these different fucking layers of identitarian bullshit. And he won't just strip the bullshit away and say, maybe this should just belong to humanity as a whole. Remarkable to me, by the way.
Talking to Congress about the dangers of AI, while also...
The fuck is wrong with this dude's fucking eyebrows? This dude is a fucking AI generated character. This is not an actual human being.
You know, creating things that I think are wildly dangerous that sever you from humanity and God. And I think...
Oh my God, what a fucking bitch. You know what I mean? I can't believe you motherfuckers are making me take up for Elon Musk in this fucking conversation. Kind of.
Separate you from humanity and God. What about humanity? What about God?
When have you motherfuckers ever fucking cared about either of those goddamn things? If you cared about humanity, you would want this technology to belong to all of humanity. If you care about humanity, you would fucking want your starving brother fed. You wouldn't fucking carry water for fucking absurdly wealthy billionaires. You wouldn't fucking suck at the capitalist teat like Tim Pool does on a goddamn nightly basis. You wouldn't fucking platform Kanye West going out there and fucking trying to kill all the Jews or whatever the fuck he's up to. You wouldn't be doing any of that shit. So quit fucking talking to me like you give a shit about humanity, you little cocksucker. Not only that, oh man, we also care so much about God. God, the creator of the universe. Well, let me tell you something. There's two main conceptions of God. There's the conception of the vengeful, hate-filled God, which, you know, you guys are way too progressive and enlightened for that God. And then there's the idea of the loving, charitable God, and you guys are way too regressive, knuckle-draggy for that God. So you fall short of either iteration of God. What God do you worship? The God of middling fucking mush-mouthed bullshit?
The chip is bad, and I don't agree with it. And then obviously I like what he's doing with Twitter, but even with that, he's kind of leading with subjectivity. You know, he's basing his emotions on Alex Jones or Ye, like on his own personal feelings. And I'm just like, I think you should be able to say whatever you want.
Of course, but at least he's being honest about it.
The
he's being
transparency's
transparent
nice.
about it. You won't see Google doing that. You don't see Alphabet doing that.
And that's why he's better than the Alphabet people.
But it was like a child, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He banned
Yeah.
Kanye.
It's a little
literally.
better, though.
He said he banned Kanye because
inciting violence.
yeah, because
Man, Tim Pool has the easiest job on the face of the fucking earth, dude. Because Tim Pool is not even a part of this goddamn conversation. Tim Pool is just back there like, yeah, I'll be back here, Tim Pooling it. You guys yammer until I feel like I want to say something. Woo, how much money I make? How much money just came in? 20,000? Cool. Yep, sounds good. Yeah, let them yammer.
It was like one day we were doing the after show and I had this idea for like a TV show. There's one city left on Earth. The entire planet is basically wiped out. There's just like abandoned cities everywhere. And it's like 2080 or something. There's a few million people living in this big city. It's the last city. And they have like scouting missions going out and gathering old technology and stuff. When one day they come across these creepy, slim looking humanoid creatures with chrome helmets who just like blast them with an energy wave and kill their scouting party. But one guy escapes. The long story short of it is, the people don't understand why the world ended. The news records just ceases. They're looking at old data centers and they're like trying to go online and find records and newspapers, and around like, you know, a certain period, or maybe it's like 21 something, a certain period like in 2070s, news just starts to slowly stop, but there's no definitive end, there's no warning, there's no war. Just one day they're like the record just slowly trickles off and stops. So the general idea is, what would happen if Neuralink became the thing today and everyone started using it? The conversation would be happening on Neuralink more and more and more. And if you weren't using it, you would have no access to the latest news. You wouldn't be in the network. So then 100 years later, the people who refused, call it, you know, godless or evil or satanic or whatever, they're like, we don't know what happened. Just one day, like everybody was gone. We can't, like, you know, if you're like third or fourth generation down, you're like, the people all left. We don't know where they went. There's no records of history. But then those creepy creatures I mentioned are the people who are living in pods underground, wired into the Neuralink, who come up periodically to collect resources. So that was my idea.
All right, Tim, I'll greenlight it, but only if Andy Dick is the star. That's my prerequisite. Andy Dick has to be the main character. If you can make it succeed with that, then your show is worthy.
That's like the evolved version of people deleting friends off, you know, different social media platforms.
I love how Tim Pool pretty much totally sidetracked the whole conversation to talk about his like sci-fi show. Like he's so bored by the conversation they're having back there. He's just like, man, remember that fucking cool show idea I had? That kind of relates to this, I guess. And everyone's just like, well, it is the Tim Pool show. I guess we have to listen to this. And then they just listen and like, all right, now I have to try to return this to the actual conversation. One part I am legend, one part Ghost in a Shell, all garbage concept. I think you're being a little hard on the concept just because it comes from Tim Pool. Because honestly, like it's very vague. And on it, I think it really kind of depends on like the sensibilities of it and how good the characters are and how good the writing is. Like the concept is okay. It's not the worst premise in the world. Now, it's not a concept that really hooks me because I'm not really into this whole like finger wagging about technology and stuff. But yeah, Like, I don't, even in my book that I'm writing, I mean, obviously Tim Pool is fucking trying to pimp his sci-fi concept. So I'm going to fucking try to pimp my forthcoming sci-fi novel. But even though I wrote a book about sex bots, one of the things I was like thinking in my head is like, I don't want this to end up being some kind of anti-technology screed. I don't want that to even be an element at play here. I don't even really want that represented other than as like a villainous perspective. So yeah, there's no anti-technology stuff in my material. And that's why the sort of inherent anti-technology bent of what he's proposed kind of rubs me wrong. But I don't think it's an awful premise. Epic prank. I hack your Neuralink and make you pop a boner in public. Joke's on you. No one would notice. Well, I guess the joke is on me, actually. Oh, I did want to mention to you guys to join my Discord. If you have any content suggestions for streams, to put them in the content suggestion, I don't know, room or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I'm not good at Discord, but yeah.
Someone put the political typology quiz to it. Like they asked these questions and the AI was a liberal. 1 degree to the right of a progressive leftist. So like actually kind of far left. The AIs that are all being trained by a censored far left internet. So the future, if conservatives resist all of this and the left accepts all of this, it's going to be like some weird sci-fi movie where you got like some dude in camo gear with like black paint under his eyes and like an AR fighting some weird dude flying through the air shooting lasers at him.
Yeah, it sounds like I mean, I think I know who'd win that fight, right? Like, I'm a camo guy with a shotgun. That's cool. I'm a fucking augmented flying laser humanoid with a fucking energy shield. Like, I don't know. It seems to me like the redneck might lose.
Me, I'm Rambo, man. Let's get it. I'm ready. I like the war.
Right.
I'm ready. I like the war. You really? Because you're gonna lose it. Like, there's gonna a fucking blue-haired SJW is gonna appear before you as a fucking being of pure energy and just disintegrate you like Dr. Manhattan disintegrated fucking Rorschach at the end of Watchmen, and you're just gonna be dead. Are you gonna love the war then? Because it seems like no, you're probably not gonna. Yeah, I don't know what they mean by censored leftist internet either, because like the internet is still like a crazy cesspool of every ideology under the sun. So I'm not really sure. I think they just mean maybe like ultra corporate internet spaces. Like, I guess, you know, YouTube, where they're literally all talking and espousing right-wing beliefs, or Twitter, where they're literally all talking and espousing right-wing beliefs, and I'm banned.
But I think people are going to adopt, you know, earlier on saying like who's going to want to get a chip in their brain. I think you made a good point when you're talking about the lockdowns and how everyone just marches along. And now I'm just like, yep, you know what? It's just going to happen.
I'm going to go.
Yeah, good. Is there anyone here who actually watches Tim Pool? Like recreationally or whatever? Because I have a question. Is Tim Pool always kind of like the least interesting and insightful person on the Tim Pool show? Or is that like a feature of this particular conversation? Just wondering. Because, man, his contributions to this conversation have been unimpressive.
I agree with that still, but I also want to say, like, and this might be like a contact high from the positivity from Yein this weekend, but like
this guy, I don't even believe this guy exists. This dude is like a Star Trek hologram that has been projected into this like chair. This guy is an AI construct. He triggers my uncanny valley.
In California, every driver I had long conversations with all of them. They were all anti-lockdown.
They were all anti-lockdown. Let me tell you something. Here's the thing about conservatives and their ideologies, okay? So conservatives, there's a thing that liberals and leftists do that we really need to stop doing because it's giving these fucking conservatives the wrong impression. And I know that we do it because I do it. And most of you probably have been in the same situation. What happens is everyone here has at some point had a conversation with some crazy right-winger where they talk all their weird shit. And what do we usually do? Do we push back? No, because we don't want to get into a dumb fucking fight about their stupid, weird politics. So instead, we just kind of sit there and go, oh, yeah, uh-huh. Oh, yeah. And then we try to find, like, some area where we do actually agree so we can, like, draw attention to that. Be like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, I agree with that part of what you said. And because we have a tendency to do that, these people go around thinking everyone agrees with them. So from now on, you know, when they fucking start talking their weird shit, even though it's going to be uncomfortable, you just need to be like, yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit. You're totally wrong. Like, it just has to be done for the good of the lands, guys. Like, we got to stop placating these people, because this is why they go around thinking that everyone secretly agrees with them. Because when they fucking talk their shit to us, we always just go like, uh-huh, yeah, that's nice. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that part. Nancy Pelosi is corrupt, I guess. You got to stop, because that's how they fucking get these weird impressions about the world and think that everyone's secretly on their side. Neuralink will never work because we don't know with 100% certainty how the brain works to make it work with technology we make for it. Yeah, but our understanding of the brain is increasing all the time, and we really don't need to fully understand the brain in order to make technology that can be compatible with it. Like, there's plenty of things we don't fully understand and yet still have technology that can interface with. So I don't think that's even a prerequisite. Now, are we going to have like a 100% integration between the human brain and technology anytime soon? No. But like the first stages of it, fucking for sure. Let me just tell you something. Conservatives have been talking this mark of the beast shit forever, okay? Like, we haven't really heard them do too much talking about that. There's still plenty of time left in this clip for them to get to it. But like, conservatives do all kinds of fucking, have always been yammering about the mark of the beast. You know, they used to say that it was, you know, barcodes for like grocery items and stuff. Oh, pretty soon they're going to tattoo a barcode on everybody. Mark of the beast. Ronald Wilson Reagan, 6 letters, 6 letters, 6 letters. He's the Antichrist. I had a fucking cousin who told me she couldn't wait for Hillary to take office because Hillary Clinton was the Antichrist. I mean, conservative Christians have been sitting around waiting for the Antichrist forever. And every fucking generation has been able to point to something that's going to be, oh, that's it. That's the mark of the beast, y'all. That's the mark of the beast.
I think most people are still like conservatives. If there's a fair battle of ideas, conservatives always win. You can see that with Andrew Tate, right? They had to ban Andrew Tate. He became the most popular person in the world fairly quickly.
Conservatives do not always win. Like, first of all, tons of fucking pretty far left ideas pull very well in America. Like, you go around and ask people about things like universal health care, those ideas have always been fucking popular. Even when it comes to things like gun control, those ideas have always been popular. What conservatives have is, they're not a super minority, but they are a minority, but they're very fucking vocal. And they're very hive-minded. If you talk to 10 different leftists, you're going to hear 10 different fucking things. If you talk to 10 conservatives, you're going to hear the same thing 10 times. That's really what it fucking boils down to. There's no ideological diversity on the conservative side of the aisle, which is really the strength of conservatives, because they think uniformly, they all believe some variation of the same thing, and they're all able to, to flip it, to flip the script on a dime the moment the situation calls for it, because they have nothing they actually stand for. They're just kind of like, go along with the herd. What is the herd saying now? What's the new marching orders? Okay, now we're saying this. Now these are our new talking points. But you talk to fucking 10 leftists, and it's like, the motherfuckers, not only do they say things that disagree with each other, but they all fucking hate each other and think like, man, that other fucking so-called leftist is actually a right-wing piece of shit. Nah, I'm the true leftist. Fuck that guy. He's not a real leftist. How can you even think a white male could be a leftist? I'm a black woman. That's the ultimate left. You know, and it's just like, it's going to go on and on. Like, they all fucking hate each other. They don't agree on shit. Even if they do agree on something, they have to make sure that it's clear that their reasoning to come to it is superior and their framework that they put it in is superior. That's leftism. But like, the strength of that is, it's like a thriving conversation that's always going and always churning out like a billion new ideas. But the weakness is that there's no fucking consolidation. There's no leadership. There's no fucking actual ability to cohere into something that can be like a cogent social force for change, because there's not widespread agreement. But right-wingers, they easily come to consensus. They easily come to agreement. So you don't need as many of them. They can accomplish a lot more with fewer fucking people, because they all think alike. They're all automatons. They're all NPCs. They're all fucking drones. Whatever you want to say about them.
I think a lot of these kids were put on these pills when they were younger, and they grow up and they don't understand. They don't understand. No, I was at a Matt Walsh rally and I saw a guy with green hair spit on a guy that was on our side.
Ah, yes. The pills theory. You know what I'll say about this? Bryson Gray, at least he's fucking interesting. I mean, he might be insane. He might be talking the fucking most like ridiculous booty chatter I've ever heard spoken. But at least it's interesting booty chatter. Although I keep missing things he's saying, probably because I keep fucking double taking perplexed at shitty, like, you know, in the long run, conservative ideas do tend to prevail. It's like, no, they don't. What are you talking about? They like traditionally have not. If they did, we would still be fucking cavemen right now. It'd be like, Thag, no, if this fire thing maybe go too far. Like, we'd be there.
What's going to happen is there's going to be this ad campaign from Neuralink where it's like, only racists don't get Neuralink.
Yeah.
What? I guess it must just be nice to have a right-wing audience because they apparently don't question anything you say. You can just say some totally off-the-wall shit like, you know, and of course, you know, when Neuralink comes out, there's going to be a campaign that says you're racist if you don't get Neuralink. It's like, no, there's not. There literally is not. That is not going to be an ad campaign. There's no reality in which that would be an ad campaign. The idea that an ad campaign like that would exist is fucking batshit insane. And yet he just spews it out and it's unchallenged and no one goes like, what? Not a single one of these motherfuckers in this room is like, what are you talking about, you fucking raving lunatic?
You could be an oppressed minority in the AI digital system if you get the brain chip. I see that coming. Like, you could be...
What? Wait a minute. This motherfucker just said that there's going to be like an equivalent of the Matrix, like a fantasy world where you can do anything. And he thinks that the thing people are going to want to do is they're going to want to plug in and be an oppressed minority. Like, they're going to be like, oh man, I can't wait to be a slave picking cotton. Like, who, huh? No, that's not what people are going to do with that technology. People are going to be like, I am now the fucking fuck god of planet Pussytron or something. Like, they're not going to be fucking like, oh, swing low, sweet chariot, come and pick that cotton fast, boy. You know, they're not going to be doing that, dude. No one wants that. No one's like, oh man, I can't wait to be super oppressed in the AI hellscape. That's not anyone's idea of a good fucking time, you moron. What are you talking about? TJ has never talked to a dedicated enough sub. I mean, look, I'm not saying that there might not be like a sexual submissive that would fucking be like into some weird like fantasy, but even then it's not gonna be like real slavery times, you know? Like, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, and the master is actually like a triple D breasted, you know, Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS style mistress, you know, and when I don't pick the cotton fast enough, she's gonna take me to the fucking, you know, the tool shed or whatever the fuck, and it's not gonna be accurate to history, okay? It's gonna be something a little bit more, you know, spicy in different ways.
They're going to do whatever they're told to do. The right is going to resist. I need to win them over. And then he's going to come, he'll come out, and I don't know exactly what he'll do to try and convince people to get Neuralink. He'll say something like, we've had people defending it, and fair point, people who are paralyzed and stuff, you know, that really can't help them. But I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and he's like, you know, we're going to have absolute free speech and we're going to bypass the system and push back and boot out the FBI deep state, and we're going to do it on Neuralink.
We're going to progress ourselves out of existence. Like, that's what's happening.
Yeah. Thag know about this fire. What if we lose essential human attribute of shivering cold in cave? What we become? Species of warm creatures huddled around fire? Worshipping fire like idiot? No. Thag say we should stay in cave, huddled together for warmth on frigid Arctic night.
One generation at a time, slowly more and more machine.
Yeah.
And then in 1,000 years, there's no humans. There's just weird robots flying around making more of themselves.
Wally.
Sounds pretty good.
But isn't that the way they convince people? Because all you have to do, and the media does this all the time, and the left they're the best at it. You could
Thank you.
Control people with emotions, right? If somebody's emotionally attached to something, you have.
Wait a minute. Every fucking argument you guys have made in the course of this bullshit has been emotional. You guys literally just made an argument like, what if we lose our humanity? And it's gonna be bleak and it's gonna be bad. You're the ones making nonstop emotional appeals here. So, like, don't fucking all of a sudden be like, and the left just makes emotional appeals all the time, and that's all they got. The man who says they'll progress themselves out of existence, all while he's on the internet, driving a car, flying on an airplane, right? You know, no one, I don't fucking see this guy weeping that fucking Homo erectus ain't the fucking dominant species on the motherfucking planet no more. I don't fucking see him crying that we outcompeted that motherfucker.
Like you already said, it can help somebody in a wheelchair, or Elon Musk said it can help you if you're blind. It can help you if you have Alzheimer's. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows somebody in their family with these things. You know.
Wait a minute. Are you saying it's an emotional appeal because the technology might help people? That's not an emotional appeal. That's like an actually pragmatic and effectual reality. Like, yeah, if a technology like Neuralink could help someone who can't walk, or help someone who can't see, that's not an emotional appeal. That's a very practical, pragmatic appeal. That is the exact opposite of an emotional appeal. You might feel good about it. That's definitely emotional, but like, yeah, you should feel glad about it because it would be good. Yeah, like, man, the left is always convincing people that positive things are good. What's up with that? Like, what are we talking about here, man? The flesh is weak. I'm ready for my multi-gendered cyborg body. Me too, Murphy7801. Thank you for the 5 pounds.
I'm saying, so if they pull on your emotional strings, I think a lot of people will start getting it for their family, and then next thing you know, it's normalized, and everybody will have
not just that, but if you're depressed, if you're anxious, which a lot of people are because of how the diet has been essentially destroyed here in the United States.
I mean, I don't know. I think the diet thing might be a factor in that sort of stuff. I don't think that you can lay all of our depression and anxiety woes on diet alone, though. My diet is horrible, and I'm only mildly anxious, and I'm not really depressed at all. Like, I'm actually usually, I mean, I wouldn't describe myself as happy-go-lucky or anything, but I'm usually pretty emotionally stable. If anything, I'm kind of cranky, but that's really not a matter of depression. That's just like, I'm irritable. And that's just kind of like my cantankerous nature. I think that would be the case no matter what my diet was.
Just to normalize their hormone levels and endocrine system, they have been fried emotionally, and I think there's a reason that this is happening. I think this is all deliberate. I think this is all a part of their agenda. Because
wait, no, wait a minute, no, it's not part. It's you're so like, okay, God damn it, dude. Let me explain something to you, okay? The reason that you're served fast food cheeseburgers that are low quality, cheap, greasy, high calorie foods, littered with salt and fat and sugar, the reason you're served that is not part of some grand scheme to make you anxious and weak. It's literally because in nature, you seek out those foods. Because in nature, before we had this mastery of the environment that we have now, those were scarce resources. Finding a rich deposit of fat or salt or sugar was an amazing boon to you. And it boded very well for your survival because that's calorie-dense food. And that's in short supply. Now, it's in extraordinary supply. And the reason that we mass manufacture it and mass consume it is because capitalism. It's because people are willing to pay for it because people are addicted to it because they're biologically driven to that addiction to it. It's not part of some nefarious grand scheme to make us like submissive and weak and anxious and depressed. It's part of a nefarious scheme to make a bunch of fucking money selling us way more of this shit than we should ever be eating because we're willing to do it because it gratifies us on an individual level. And a lot of us don't really understand the negative ramifications of it. And a lot of us who do understand the negative ramifications of it are already so hopelessly addicted to it that we can't escape it.
but it's not part of some scheme to destroy our mental health. It's just part of a scheme to give us way too much of what we want because we don't have the wisdom to say no to it. And we're biologically compelled to do it, and someone can make a gigantic profit selling it to us. That's all that's needed to explain that. You can explain it with biology and with greed, and the capitalist system that we've created for ourselves, where greed is rewarded with power and wealth.
Because when you're sad, when you're pathetic, you need someone else to step into your life and then take control of it. That person stepping is the government, and that government needs and relies on those people.
I think you're more accurately describing the relationship between the right-wing audience and shows like Tim Pool's.
Were destroyed essentially by them as well.
And look at what's happening in Canada with MAID. It's like the opposite version, but just as dark. You know, sign up, fill out an application to take your life away. I mean, and for simple reasons like that too. It's really that terrifies me.
You guys
That's the same thing.
You guys ever see the movie Gamer with
Oh my god. The movie Gamer that no one has thought about or given a shit about for fucking like did we even give a shit about that when it came out? Like, I remember I saw Gamer in theaters because one, Marilyn Manson was on the soundtrack, and two, Gerard Butler was coming off of 300, and he was like a pretty hot name at the moment, and I think because the dude from Dexter, Michael C. Hall, was going to play the villain, and I was interested to see what he was going to do with it, and the Manson track ended up being Sweet Dreams, which is like whatever, fucking okay, boring, and then the Gerard Butler performance was fucking boring dog shit. And then Michael C. Hall's turn as the villain was like the worst I've ever seen him perform. And he sucked. And that whole movie was like it was shit. That movie was dog shit. And the fact that he's like bringing it up in the course of this conversation is remarkable to me. I kind of look forward to talking to Tim Pool if he ever actually brings me on his goddamn show, because I think we could talk shitty movies the entire time, because apparently he has just as bad of taste in movies as I do, which is kind of cool.
What's that guy's name?
Sounds familiar.
Well, Gerard Butler's in it. So basically, there's a guy, he's like falsely accused or something, and then you're on death row.
It's basically Running Man, but in 2008 or whatever year it was. You're
granted freedom if you elect to be used as an avatar in a game where video gamers can control your body. And so Gerard Butler's in like this battlefield, he's got to kill people or whatever, and this kid's controlling him, and he's like, "Hey, give me control." You never seen this?
No,
I haven't either.
And
what
so
year is this?
Oh, 10
Yeah, no one's seen it because this is terrible. It's a fucking awful movie.
years ago.
never
And so Gerard Butler's like, "Give me control and I'll win." And so then the kid like stops, and then Gerard Butler just goes ape and starts taking everybody out. But then basically the point of the story is they have these
I said Gamer was 2009. I said Gamer was 2008. It was actually 2009, so I was pretty close.
online games where you can take some kind of like brain implant that you like snort or something, and then give up control of your body to someone for someone to use you as an avatar. So there's like people who go to this club scene, and then people use their bodies for like weird sex stuff. And then in the end, what happens is the guy who made it all has absolute control over everyone else who's plugged in.
Right.
So there's like the scene where he's like doing this weird movement, and all the guys around him are doing the same thing, like he's puppeteering.
Man, of all of the science fiction films to reference as cautionary tales, you mentioned fucking 2009's awful movie Gamer. Like, it's not good. It's really a stupid fucking movie, guys. I don't know if you've seen it, but it features the rapper Ludacris, and it is itself ludicrous. So the idea that this is like what's being brought up as like, hey, we need to be cautious about this stuff because I don't know if you guys have seen this movie Gamer. Like, man, of all the fucking science fiction, of all the cautionary tales to cite, the tale of Gamer, eh? Okay.
I would love the idea of being able to plug your brain and like you're transported into an actual Skyrim, like you see and experience throwing fireballs at a dragon or something. But what's going to happen is Elon's going to knock on your door, and you're gonna be like, oh, Elon Musk, and he's gonna go, turn around, go make me a pizza, and you're gonna go, yes, Elon, and you're gonna turn around, and he's gonna go do it, and then you're gonna be
We have to pretend Tim Pool's funny.
sitting there, and you're gonna go, you're gonna be making the pizza, going, why am I making a pizza for him? It feels so good. I love doing this. Why? It's like, yo, when they have Neuralink in your brain, they're gonna come to you and they're gonna say, inject this into your blood. They're gonna say, hand your kid over, and you're gonna basically orgasm when you do these things you hate. They will get you to do things you hate, and it will feel.
Well, if they feel good, then you don't really hate them anymore, do you? I mean, as far as dystopias go, at least you're getting some pleasure out of it. Like, oh my God, it feels so good to be oppressed by Lord Elon. Oh yeah, I came again. Yes. Oh, I love doing things for Master Elon. I don't know. Like, it could be worse. It's better than toiling fucking under him and knowing it's horrible, right? You got to remember, people like this love Blade Runner 2049 and ignore all the blight caused by unregulated corpos. Oh yeah, that's true. Like, they watch the movie but don't take the message from it at all.
Feel good.
Thousands of orgasms in your pod as you're being force-fed bugs.
I mean, if your brain has literally been rewired to like the taste of the bugs and to like becoming nonstop, like, that doesn't sound that bad. Like, intellectually, it's kind of horrifying, but like actually experiencing it wouldn't really be all that awful, right? Because you'd literally just be sitting there like, oh, I love eating bugs. Yes. But wait, I only love this because I'm programmed to. Who cares? It feels good. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then eventually, maybe we just become a species of nonstop orgasm. We just like become like, we are the nonstop orgasm that just orgasms forever. Like, who knows? I don't know. Seems like there's worse fucking potential futures for humanity than that. I'm not defending it. I'm not saying that's what I want for us, but like, you know, it could be worse.
Is essentially the future that allows
You
people
just sold it to some people out there.
Exactly.
Like, there's definitely
Yeah, you started selling it to me. I'll be honest with you. Capitalism is already making us do things we hate. Yeah, no shit. But it doesn't give us pleasure when we do them. So, you know, if you're going to be a fucking cog in the capitalist system, you might as well be an orgasming cog.
Kidding. That's literally what they're going to be doing. That's how they're going to be getting. That's how they're going to destroy humanity with pleasure. So, you know,
The mind control shirt's making more sense now.
I think it's going to be a mix, though, of a 1984 style totalitarian government with, of course, a Soma Brave New World reality that I think is also going to be prevalent as well. And we're seeing this left and right kind of dichotomy being pushed back and forth. And this is the kind of lock steps that are being put into place, acquiescing society towards total slavery.
Thanks for watching this.
Wow. Thanks for making this clip.